Hello, once again, it's time to learn some Python with Jordan and Jackie. And today we are covering Boolean operators. And once again, we're using Replit as our IDE. So Jackie, I know what a mathematical operator is because I listened to that lesson. What is a Boolean operator?
Right, so let's start maybe with reminding ourselves Boolean.
Yep.
With Booleans, we have the value true or false.
Yeah, so a Boolean is a thing that can have only one of two values, true or false.
Yeah, so B1 equal true.
Yeah.
And then B2 equal false.
And so this follows the same sort of conventions that we showed you for assignments in general. It's worth, I guess, pointing out that Python is a bit fussy here. If you have to write true and false with a capital first letter, otherwise it won't recognize them as the special things.
So we see that if I remove the uppercase here, it says, well,
what's this? Yeah. Okay, so we talked a little bit in the last lesson about what those are, the Booleans. In a way, they only really make sense in the context of something that they're applied to, right?
Correct. So instead of B1 and B2, let's say we are talking about the morning.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We're trying to work out something about what to do, an algorithm for working out what to do at different times during the week.
Is it the morning and is it Monday?
Yeah. So the meaning of this is, our interpretation of this is that it is morning, true if it's morning, false if it's not morning. It is Monday, true if it is Monday, false if it isn't Monday. And so then what if I wanted to know if it was Monday morning?
Yeah. So we would say morning, and we would combine that with Monday. Right.
Cool. So and is one of the fundamental Boolean operators, just like plus and minus are fundamental arithmetic operators. There's no special symbol for it in Python. Some programming languages do use an individual symbol, but we just have to type and notice that it recognizes that it's a special word and makes it blue.
Yeah.
So let's see what that does.
So it's false. It is it is morning, but it is not Monday. So it is not Monday morning.
Right. So and I think it's fairly intuitive. So with the and, just like in language, would you like milk and sugar in your coffee? The value of the Boolean and operator is only going to be true if both of the operands, both of the things you're feeding to it, are true. Yeah. So morning is true and Monday is true, then the result would be true. That wasn't the case. Do you want to just make that the case? Use the time machine?
Let's use the time machine, switch to Monday morning, and
boom,
it's Monday
true.
morning.
If only it was that easy in real life. So I don't think anyone would input Monday morning as the time machine destination that often with it. Okay. And you want to just make it not Monday there?
It's not Monday. We're switching back to not being Monday. But then sometime we could also check, well, is it the morning or is it Monday?
Yeah, okay, so or let's try something a little bit different. Let's make it Saturday and Sunday and try to find out whether it's the weekend.
So, Saturday and Sunday. And so here, because we always suggest to contextualize the
variable names. Yeah.
So here the result is the weekend, and then Saturday.
Or right, yeah, makes sense.
Or Sunday, because both would qualify as being the weekend.
Yeah. So it is the weekend if it is Saturday or if it is Sunday.
And in that case, it takes a lot of time, but it's true.
That's because we are using a web browser-based IDE here. Probably not the best idea in our little Faraday cage that we're in here recording, but... Cool. Okay. Now, I realize that with our example here, this makes no sense. But what if we made both of those things true? I mean, obviously it can't be Saturday and Sunday, but whatever. Cool.
Yeah.
Then it's true.
So, or means either one of them are true,
or
both of them. Yeah.
So just to state it clearly, the result of a Boolean OR operation is true if either or both of the operands are true.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So I believe there's one more like fundamental operator, and that's not, isn't it?
So we want to negate basically the value of our Boolean. So if we say not Sunday, we want to check whether it is not Sunday.
Yeah. Okay, so our little Saturday Sunday example here is getting a bit wonky. I suppose we could change this to be weekday.
Weekday. Yeah.
Okay. The logic of the example is slightly flawed, but fine. So weekday is not Sunday.
Yeah.
And hey, cool! Welcome to your first syntax error or programming error. This is something you'll see all the time. It's saying we done goofed.
But that is because we used the weekend. We printed weekend,
and there was no such thing as weekend in our program.
So it is false.
Yeah, and that's basically just because we set the value of Sunday to true, and not something is just the opposite of it in a Boolean sense. So not true is false, not false is true. So in this case, that true turns into a false. Okay, so these examples are, this kind of thing can come up, especially when you get into more complex programs. You'll often need to do this kind of Boolean operation. Let's try and contextualize it with a number-based example combining Boolean operators and comparisons.
Yeah, so something we cannot write typically as a comparison, because we can only compare two values, is something where we add in mathematics is quite common. We would have this type of things where we wanted our value to be between 0
we want to
and 10.
check are our values in the range 0 to 10.
Yeah. So
easy to write on paper, impossible to write in a Python program.
It is, yeah. So in that case, we would have, for instance, x equals 0, and then y equal 10, the boundaries, or we could say min, max, whatever we like. Yep. And then we're going to remove this confusing part here. And our results, what do we want here?
Yeah, okay, so we want, so let's firstly introduce our value, and maybe let's, for starters, say our value is 7.
Okay, yeah. So the value in the middle, here there's a typo, up. Yep. So we want to have our value, and
we'll change
here.
That and see what happens. Yep. Okay, so we know from the last lesson that we can check is the value greater than 0, and we know that we can check is the value less than 10. But I can't check both at the same time. Show us how we solve that using a Boolean operation.
So first, we're going to look at this first part here. So we have the value lower than 10.
Cool.
If we use our variable, we're going to say value lower than y.
Yeah. Okay, so that's half of the issue. Yeah. Cool.
And then we want that to be true and to have another part. So that's where we're going to introduce the ends. Yeah. And then we can cover 0 lower than value. And I think I personally like to have always the value on the left side. So it's going to push it to play a little bit on the sides. Yeah. Signs. And we're going to write that like this.
Okay, so what we're checking here is, firstly, we're checking is the value less than 10?
Correct.
Then we're also separately checking is the value greater than 0? And then we're saying are both of those things true, which is only going to happen if the value is in that range that we wanted to figure out. Yeah. Do we need brackets around here?
I believe that the end is the last check thing that is checked. But we're going to run both and we'll
see what happens. Yeah. Fantastic.
So the results up.
Ooh.
So this is true.
Cool.
And if we have...
I suppose I sometimes like to add brackets to things like that just for readability and clarity.
Absolutely.
Indeed not essential. Okay, so in this case, 7 is indeed between 0 and 10. Shall we just confirm that it works for 11 and minus 1?
So if we have 11 now, we're going to have false.
Cool.
And minus 1 we would have false as
Also
well.
false.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And in principle, just like with normal maths, in principle, you can construct really long expressions with this plus that minus that divided by that. You can also, with Booleans, do this and that, or that divided by that.
Yeah. So we could
or
continue.
not divided.
We could continue with or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's worth just noting that I don't think we really expect you guys to remember this, but there is a priority order to and, or, and not, in the same way that there's a priority order to plus, times, and divide. I guess I would encourage you to generally keep it fairly simple or use brackets, but just so you know, not is the highest priority of those, and is the next highest priority, and then or is the lowest priority. Okay, I think that pretty much covers it. We will see you in the next lesson.